Okay, let's talk about how do you come up with an idea for your startup. There's a few different ways that you can come about doing this. You typically hear really bad startup ideas, though, like the Uber for X or whatever social network for dogs. These are all classic, really bad example of startup ideas. And typically, the number one problem that people have that leads them to coming up with bad startup ideas is that they are trying to come up with startup ideas. And that's not a really good approach to take. So, if you want to be successful in a startup, don't try to think of like what's a startup idea. Instead, look for problems. A problem is, something that you have, ideally, that you have experience with through your job or through, your everyday life, something that you would be willing to pay someone else to solve for you. And it's good that you have the problem yourself because when you're building a product, you want to have a really strong understanding of your potential user. And so if you are your potential user, then you will really understand the needs that your product is trying to solve. You also want to find ideas that ideally are not sexy and are not easy, right? So if you are trying to jump on the bandwagon of what's already out there, you're probably looking after sexy ideas. Don't try to start the next Twitter or Pinterest or Snapchat or Instagram. For a lot of those areas, it's already too late. Look for areas where you're kind of, as Paul Graham calls it, you're living on the edge of what's possible. So one thing that I think prevents a lot of people from coming up with really good startup ideas is they're not exposing themselves to enough problems where they might be able to come up with solutions, and B, they're not familiar with enough about the tools that you could use to solve those problems. So that's, for me, why it was so important that I learned how to code and I was able to teach myself how to code, because it's kind of like that saying, when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, when you know how to fix problems, everything in the world looks like a problem. And you look and you say, oh man, I can't believe no one's come up with a solution to that problem yet, or this one or that one. One thing I'd recommend for you if you are trying to come up with a startup idea is just keep like a notebook or a list on your phone, or I use Evernote, and just start throwing ideas into there. Some of them may be really bad. Some of them may start to be really good. And as soon as you start putting yourself in this mindset, you'll come up with a lot of ideas. Actually, let me find some of my Evernote startup ideas and show you guys. So I have, and this is in reverse chronological order, online copyright filing for companies. That may already exist, but I don't know about it. Kitchen surfing for professors, like a way for professors to make money by speaking at businesses. Software for handling discount codes. As a business, we deal with discount codes all the time. Trust me, it's super annoying, and there's not really great software out there for letting us create discount codes on the fly, issue them to users. A tool for better webinars. Please, somebody build a tool to create better webinars. We have to set up a Google Hangout on air. We have to email people, set up landing pages to collect people's emails, set up a landing page to send people to chat on. Man, that would be so useful. So I have in here like 60 different ideas. I've even posted posts on Medium for startup ideas. But of course, it's up to you to go out and find your own thing. So so that's a little bit about finding startup ideas. Then, of course, once you have an idea, you have to test it and validate it and make sure that it's actually an idea that can make you money and that is addressing the problems of enough people. But that's a topic for another Founder Friday. Thank you guys this week. And of course, remember to subscribe to Founder Friday, like the video below if you enjoyed this or got something out of it, and post a comment below if you have anything that you'd love me to cover in an upcoming Founder Friday. Post in the comments and I will read them. Thanks.